Hello and welcome to ThePrint's first presentation in the great city of Pune. It's our first off-the-cuff fair, and if you are coming to Pune, who else can we start with but, what do I call it, sir? The Sultan of Maharashtra, the King of Maharashtra, the Bhisham Pitame of Maharashtra politics, Mr. Sharad Pawar. Sharadji, many congratulations. 50 years uninterrupted as a parliamentarian between State Assembly and National Parliament, a Padma Vibhushan by a government of your adversaries, about whom you will not say nice things today also, I suspect, and the respect of the entire political class. What's your overview of India's politics? Is India in a good shape, a bad shape, could be better, couldn't be worse?
We have to accept one thing, that as of today, political stability is very much there. There is a government which enjoyed more than 350 seats in parliament. The overall position of the opposition is not very happy. Government, that way, which is led by a person, in his own party he is effective, and he is in position to control all his team. That's why from that angle, I don't see any problem today before country.
Right.
Only question, the various issues which country is watching today, that is little worrisome. Now, for instance, of course, my close association with farming community. Today, there are many states where the farming community is coming big way on the state, and there are certain demands, and particularly demand of loan waiver.
Right. So are you in support of loan waivers?
Generally, I honestly feel that suppose somebody has taken money from bank, we have to see that he will repay.
Right.
If suppose there is a crisis, there is a calamity, there is some difficulty, the bankers and the financial institutions should take a pragmatic approach about that situation, and they should try to help. But total waiver is a one-way beneficial up to certain limit.
Today, are we ready for another round of loan waivers in every state?
You see, I am not favorable for general waiver. In fact, farmers should also understand that whatever the loan which he is taking from bank, he has to repay. Suppose there is a calamity, there is a difficulty, all right, we can give installment.
Sir, agriculture apart, how do you look at the state of the country? Is there anything that worries you? You told us what makes you happy, that there is a stable government, it's led by ruling parties, led by a leader who has full command and control over his party and ministry. But is there anything that worries you, or are we living in a perfect world?
No, there are three issues which worries me, and I think one issue seems to be in the process of, it will resolve either today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow. The two states, one is the Kashmir,
right.
Second is the Tamil Nadu, these two areas, and thirdly, particularly northern part of our country, central India also, there is different communal atmosphere is deliberately created by certain sections.
Kashmir is at its worst ever since you've started watching it, say since the Shimla Accord, or since trouble started in '89.
In fact, I have seen on three regions the Kashmir situation very closely. One, Atal Bihari Vajpayee. In Atal Bihari Vajpayee's time, he tried his level best to keep established good relationship with various cross-sections. In that initially, when the Atal Bihari Vajpayee came in power, of course BJP, definitely the thinking in Kashmir Valley was something different. But Mr. Vajpayee has taken altogether different approach, and he tried his level best to resolve these issues and to create confidence in the mind of Kashmiris. After him, similar approach was taken by Manmohan Singh also. when Mr. Narendra Modi took over, in fact last Diwali, you must have recollecting, he spent Diwali in Kashmir Valley.
Yeah, right.
And that was very good decision, very good signal too. And then he has given a lot of assurances, lot of commitments as well. Today, when I discussed with my friends from Kashmir, they said that whatever the commitments were made by the government, not a single thing has been implemented that has created frustration in the mind of youngsters. And now, there are certain forces who are encouraging the youngsters, and they are taking practically law in their hand. Tourism is practically stopped. Nobody is coming to Valley. Message has gone outside India and India about the situation, and that's why all shikaras, all houseboats, all restaurants, all hotels, practically everything is in very, very bad shape.
So, sir, do you think the government has mishandled it, or do you think they could not have helped it, or do you think that the government did not have good intentions of delivering on their promises?
When I discuss with my friends in Kashmir, in fact they tell me, are you people are interested to resolve this issue? The first question was asked to me also. Is central government and leadership in the government is eager to resolve this issue? They honestly feel that we are not taking any interest. We are politicians, we are parliamentarians, and those who are actually managing the affairs of the country. There has to be dialogue. It is true that youngsters are taking law in their hand, but answer is not bullet. Answer is ultimately we have to sit with them, start dialogue with them, resolve genuine problem, and try to improve the overall situation. If we honestly feel that military, armed forces is a solution, I think we are inviting more trouble.
Then that means we will create more trouble if we think armed forces are a solution. So, sir, this is something that became very controversial. This video of a Kashmiri protester tied to an army vehicle. What's your view on that?
You see, in fact, I consulted them also, other side also. The armed forces, one of the representatives.
Other side means BJP?
No, somebody from army.
Somebody from army.
Because once upon a time I was also handling.
You were defense minister. Yes, yes.
That's why I have certain contact. So I was asking, what is this? Why you people are doing this? The jeep which was taking these people, one individual, that had shown a very bad picture for not only for Kashmir, not only for India, but outside India too. And it's not correct. They said there was no choice. They said because we kept that man there, that's why we could come and we could save ourselves. Otherwise there was attack from all sides. That was their version. I don't know. But if that is the situation, that shows how the situation is serious.
It is bad. So, sir, if you were defense minister today, how would you have wanted army to deal with this situation? Would you have then condoned the use of this human shield?
In fact, armed forces or army is not supposed to generally invite to any state to handle law and order situation. Minister or any other person cannot give instruction to army to go. Suppose something happened to Pune.
Right.
Only district magistrate of Pune got authority if such a serious
But sir, in Kashmir there is Armed Forces Special Powers Act, so army can act on its own also.
No, but you see, when we invite army to handle a particular situation, they are not supposed to act like they are acting against our adversaries,
Right.
or our enemy countries. Basically, their job is to create sort of confidence in the mind of majority population and sort of fear among that section who is trying to take law in their hand. So they have limited responsibility. In certain parts of northeast and particularly Valley, situation is altogether different, and that's why little more powers has been definitely given there. And we have to give some powers Otherwise, it will be very difficult. This is not the only solution. One has to start negotiation.
So should the army punish this officer who did that or condone it?
No. You see, if we punish, there will be total demoralization.
Right.
We have to see that armed forces also should not be demoralized, because situation is such a risky situation, and with this background,
So just a little counseling?
start dialogue, discuss with them, inform them, give them confidence, and also request them that they should use force limited.
Sharadji, the third point, you said that you are worried about what's happening in North and Central India by way of communalization of public mind or public opinion or politics.
It started from certain sections, say, those who are in public life. In fact, Prime Minister's speech, I was really shocked when in Uttar Pradesh campaign, in one place he said, whether we should spend money for Smashan or we should spend money
On Kabristan.
on Kabristan. You see, that has clear-cut signal to divide society into two. And when these type of speeches come from highest person who is occupying highest level position, definitely it's not good. It becomes communalized. And we have seen many things in last 2-3 years in that path. We have seen there was a sort of section called so-called Go Rakshak. They started protecting cow. In the name of protection cow, they started attacking certain section. In fact, in a place called Dadri, one Muslim family was practically attacked, killed head of the family, and because they thought, the attacker thought that he has kept some beef, he has killed cow, and ultimately after inquiry it established that that was not the correct information. But action was taken, law was taken in their hand, attack has been made. Number of places we get information, particularly that Rajasthan and that part, whenever these animals go from one place to another, these Go Rakshaks attack these people, and they always think that this cow has been taken just to kill. In fact, I have seen in most of the places, there is a sizable section in our country who is a beef eater. But they eat beef, but they are not for eating beef from cow.
From buffalo.
Buffalo and some other animals. People do respect cow, but in the name of Go Rakshak, if anybody is going to take law in their hand and create a terror in the society, I think the situation...
Have you talked to Mr. Modi also, he takes you seriously. Have you ever mentioned this to him?
I once mentioned to him, and in fact we are going to discuss also if possible in next week, if he is free. I have sent one detailed note about what I am observing there and what information I am getting there.
You are likely to meet the Prime Minister to discuss
I
this.
requested him that I would like to raise these issues to him, and my note must have reached to him.
Right. So, sir, do you think Mr. Modi and BJP are now unbeatable? And if they are unbeatable, then what happens to your politics?
You see, general impression is that next election, the present setup will continue.
Is that, do you share that impression?
I don't share that.
You don't share?
I don't share that. You see, and I will tell you one example, my own personal experience. In 1975-76, all of you must have remembered, Mrs. Gandhi declared emergency. Within 6 months, the situation was something different. Media started writing, now offices are attended by...
On time.
On time.
Trains are running on time.
Railway trains are running time. Law and order situation has been improved. Black market has been stopped. So a number of good things are happening. And even Vinoba Bhave has mentioned, I recollect that...
Anushasan Parv, he called it.
Anushasan Parv.
Right.
So that type of situation was there. And in those days, my friends in opposition, when we were meeting them in jails and here and there, their feeling was that next 10 years we will not elect. Mrs. Gandhi is going to win election again, and the situation will be totally controlled by her. and her son. So that type of atmosphere there in many political leaders. There was not a single political party which was in position to provide a viable alternative.
So something like that can happen even now?
Because Janata Party was born after the election. It was formed after the election. But I saw that at the time of 77 election, situation was altogether different.
So sir, do you think another Janata Party can be formed now?
Can't say now.
All of you are divided?
You see, there is a definitely thinking among the various political party leaders other than BJP that we have to come together and we have to provide a viable alternative to nation. I don't know whether it will materialize or not. I have not discussed with anybody. When people do come, you people write about that. There is a discussion. When we sit in Parliament in Central Hall, sometime with various cross sections, they do open this subject. They suggest now time has come that we have to do something.
So are you willing to offer your good offices to bring about this unity as the Bhisham Pitame of the opposition?
You see, I am not going to take any initiative for that purpose. If something is happening good for country, I will be happy, I will help, but I am not going to take initiative for that purpose.
But if something happens, you will be happy if this unity comes?
No, because country needs a viable alternative. Country needs a stable government. Country also needs a stable opposition.
But sir, can there be a viable alternative without a leader? Because that was the problem earlier, united we fall, right?
No, I will just ask a question to you. When Janata Party formed government, where were the leaders?
But the JP was a kind of leader figure.
Oh, but ultimately nobody has projected JP to the next Prime Minister.
Yes, but he was holding it together. Who will hold this together now?
Here, this time I think there will be group of few individuals.
Because
they will sit, they will discuss collectively.
Sir, people are very skeptical of voting for a group of individuals because they know they will fight.
No, but still, there are certain people who got credibility. And these type of people, if they come together, they discuss, they provide some alternative, people might think seriously.
How much of a problem here is the leadership of the Congress Party? Because if an opposition unity has to come up, it has to come up around the Congress Party because they are the largest party. Is the current leadership of Congress Party, we are not talking of Mrs. Gandhi, we are talking of Rahul Gandhi, is that an element that gives Congress Party strength or makes it weaker?
You see, Congress Party has announced today only their election program.
Right.
And it looks like an end of
But in that election, Rahul Gandhi will not be defeated.
So, end of October, there will be a new president. I think that is the indication. And of course, that new president is whatever we discuss with Congressman, they always discuss only one name.
Rahul
That is Rahul Gandhi. Now, question comes whether he will be able to create a confidence in the mind of public at large. Don't forget that there will be comparison. One side here will be Narendra Modi, and here other side will be Rahul Gandhi.
Rahul Gandhi.
And then people have to choose. I don't think it will be very difficult for people to choose anybody. And that's why I don't want to comment on that. But generally, in Congress Party, which I am observing nowadays among the senior leaders, there is a serious talk that country needs today collective leadership. And even the president of Congress Party today also feel that we should encourage collective leadership. Of course, somebody has to project, and projection will be definitely Rahul Gandhi.
What will be your advice to Rahul Gandhi, since you are on his side?
I don't know, recently he met me.
I see.
And he spent about an hour and a half with me just to try to understand various things for me. My observation with him, that young leader is a serious type of person. He wants to travel, he wants to understand country, he wants to meet cross-level people and try to understand what exactly their difficulty. Only my observation, there has to be consistency, because so far we see that 2 months he is traveling every corner of the country, many states, meeting people, and suddenly disappear for 10 days.
Right.
Don't know where he has gone. You see, ultimately, when country expects some viable alternative leadership from anybody, they do expect that gentleman shows some consistency in his approach.
So did you tell him that?
I did tell him.
How did he respond?
His own thinking was that I do travel, I do meet many people, but sometime I want a break, and when I decide for break, then I go out of India, meet my old friends, and come back and start working.
Do you approve of that, or would you like him to change it?
No, I suggested him, I think it's not correct.
He should change it.
You have to take seriously. It's not just the Congress party, but if country expect a viable alternative, and here the major party is positioning you, you have more responsibilities, you have to be more serious.
Because on the other hand, the competition is Mr. Modi, who is a 24/7 politician and leader.
That's why I said.
He never takes a break.
Yeah, that's why Modi, one thing about that, he works like a, I don't say donkey, but he works very hard. He's ready to work.
He works like a politician, like a politician should. Yes, he works very hard. So if you have to compete with him, you also have to work very harder than him.
Exactly. Mr. Modi, because I saw, in fact, comparatively with other political party leaders and myself, my equation with Modi is comparatively better than many others.
That's right. Yes.
And one of the reasons is, when he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat, and I was also 10 years in central government, in that time, whenever there was a Chief Minister's meeting, Modi was attacking Dr. Manmohan Singh like anything. And that attack was personal attack. And that's why most of the Congress senior ministers were very upset with Modi. And that's why whenever there is a Chief Minister's meeting, the Congress ministers were coming together, they were discussing, and they were targeting Modi. And that's why the equation with Congress minister and Modi was not at all good. And in that particular period, I was the only person who was keeping good rapport with Modi. And I was telling Prime Minister, and I must say Prime Minister was also sharing my views, that ultimately Mr. Modi represents one state. People of Gujarat had elected him. He is elected representative. He is accepted leader of that people. And he is the Chief Minister. So whatever the issues which people from Gujarat are facing, as a member of central government, it is our responsibility to support the people and support the state. With that angle, I was keeping close effort, and I was supporting, I was visiting also and attending Mr. Modi's program in Gujarat. So, and there were certain common issues, especially water issue between Gujarat and Maharashtra, and there, Sardar Sarovar issue.
Right.
There also, he was facing certain problems from Maharashtra, and I was trying to resolve these problems. I was bringing Maharashtra government and Gujarat government together.
So you've maintained that relationship even now?
Even today, and he also maintained.
He also maintains it. So that bit of political nicety is there. Or, you know, I know just as you didn't mean to say donkey when you said donkey, I also don't want to mean thieves when I say this, but there is honor among thieves, as we say.
Basically, he worked very hard. He is available. Only question that I think it looks like that his likes and dislikes are also very much there.
And those are very strong.
Very strong views.
And that is not good in politics.
It's not fair in politics.
It's not fair in politics. So this conversation is just warming up. Don't go away. Just a short break. We are coming right back with you.
It is generally said that India, Mr. Sharad Pawar is the Prime Minister that India never had. So how do you feel for being so close but not becoming it?
It's not possible because there are two things. Firstly, I'm a product of Congress movement. I started my career in Congress. Many years I have worked in Congress. There were certain differences, and that's why I have taken stand. And because I have taken stand, I have been expelled from Congress party. And that's why it's not possible for me to go there and work there. I might help, I might cooperate on certain issues. Then I have to provide some alternative. So I have set up my own party, and that party, which I got the support of youngsters, but that party is not capable to form government and expect that position.
So, sir, is there any possibility now that Congress party will reunite and you will go back to the old party?
I don't think
with
so
your
that
party?
that is possible. But there is every possibility like-minded parties come together.
No, but the old Congress Parivar coming together is not possible. You, Congress, TMC, Jagan Mohan Reddy, all of you are
Difficult. I don't.
very difficult. Difficult or impossible?
Can't say impossible, but difficult.
Is there any advice? I asked you what advice you would like to give Rahul, and you said he should be consistent. If he's working, he should continue working, not take these long breaks, and not go to unknown places. What about Narendra Modi? What advice will you give him?
As I said, Narendra Modi is my observation. He is a very serious type of politician. He is very hard-working. He believes hard work. But as a government, and if you have to run the country like India, such a vast country, you have to defend your colleagues. You have to give them authority. And there has to be teamwork. I don't see that teamwork.
He
here.
doesn't have teamwork?
No, there is a teamwork, but there are very few colleagues who are taking responsibility. Generally, what we see in Parliament, the performance of today's BJP ministers are pathetic.
Pathetic.
Except few, 4, 5, 6 you can say.
So who are the good ones?
See, why to name others?
You should name the good ones. I'm not asking you to name the bad ones.
Definitely I can say Arun Jaitley is a good one. I can say Sushma Swaraj is a good one. Like that, there are few who go in depth about the issues, whose performance is good, their parliament.
Rajnath Singh?
Rajnath Singh is also all right because here, you see, generally the person who once upon a time happened to be chief minister, his approach is something different than others.
And from your own state, Nitin Gadkari?
Nitin Gadkari is one of the very good ministers. He is delivering goods, he is development oriented, and his approach is wide.
And how good a minister, I'm pushing it, was Manohar Parrikar
I don't think he was a proper person for that post.
for defense ministry?
Defense minister. And because he himself has said when he had gone back to Goa, he said it's a very, very difficult job, that tension was not there. What is it? You see, when you take the responsibility of defense of this nation, yes, it is a tough job.
It is a tough job.
It is you get daily reports. Practically every week defense minister is briefed what is happening in this border, that border, here and there and there. And there are many issues where definitely tension has created.
I think the young person there.
I just want to come back to the 2019 election. On what basis all the opposition parties should come together to defend BJP? Is it because BJP is doing some bad governance or there are some issues? Why they should come together? What should be the basis?
Firstly, if rival alternative is coming there, if the collective thinking is there, firstly there has to be some definite program. And we should ask the vote for implementation of that program. About BJP, main worry about BJP, whether BJP is going to keep all sections of the society together. There are sizable sections who are very, very unhappy. In fact, day before yesterday I was in Kerala and I met a group of Muslims, progressive Muslims, but their confidence has been shattered. They don't feel safe in the country. If a sizable section in this country feel we are not safe, I don't think it's a good sign.
Please.
See, 2009-2014, Manmohan Singh government was criticized for policy paralysis. Do you think that this government is working at a better pace as compared to that government? And secondly, whether that criticism for policy paralysis was true in your opinion, what were the reasons for that policy paralysis?
You see, I don't fully subscribe this view. There were vast difference between individuals who are leading the government. If you see the personality of Manmohan Singh, and if you see the personality of today's Prime Minister, Manmohan Singh was a person who was very quiet. He was also hardworking, but he was not that effective in the mind of public at large. Mr. Modi is more effective also. He is also working hard, but he is also very effective also. In Manmohan Singh's period, his first 5 years, definitely performance was very good, result was good. Second 5 years, his second tenure also, in certain sections, in industry, in the agriculture, and few fields, country has done remarkable progress. There is no two opinion in that. But Dr. Manmohan Singh was not that effective to convince people at large. And Mr. Modi has a speciality that he successfully convinced people at large and he gets advantage.
Do you think UPA would have done better if there was a change of leadership in UPA too?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Manmohan Singh was a proper person, he was a good leader, he was honest to the core, and he was sincere to resolve the problems.
Because there is a school that says that if by 2011, 10 or 11, if say someone like Pranab Mukherjee had been made Prime Minister, would have been more effective.
Yes, that type of thinking was there, that type of discussion was there, but I think Manmohan Singh was a better person.
Was a better.
Pranab Mukherjee would have been better politician than Manmohan Singh.
And Manmohan Singh.
Sir, we keep on reading about the conflict and clash between the executive and the judiciary, which is obviously not in the interest of the country. How do you really bring the equilibrium? And especially, I am concerned about the way the judiciary is going after well-managed organization like BCCI.
Sometimes we read in the newspaper there are a lot of cases are pending, and many cases are pending for years together.
Right.
And a lot of work is still pending in the court. But when we hear about what exactly they have taken decision about BCCI or this stuff, I think they have ample time. Their priority seems to be this type of thing. I really can't understand why judiciary takes so much interest. They have appointed a special judge. The judge took practically, I think, more than 1 year. He submitted his report.
A retired judge.
Retired judge, and then Supreme Court has given decision. Once in BCCI's meeting, I just asked, what exactly our remuneration which we have to pay? So we told that something 6 lakh or 7 lakh rupees per day, like that, months together we are paying. And I think
so basically these retired judges who were running this committee, they were being paid for reforming BCCI. They were being paid.
They are very well paid.
Very well paid by BCCI.
BCCI, there is no choice because they gave decision. What should we pay also they decide.
The court ordered BCCI to pay Justice Lodha and others assisting him.
And that's why we have to pay according to court order.
I see.
And they take months together.
And it was a sizable payment?
I think in crores.
In crores. So this impression that this was all done selflessly is not.
You see, I don't want to invite any contempt of court case for myself. So
मैं फंसूंगा सर, आपको कुछ नहीं होगा.
अरे आपका हैबिट है.
हमारा हैबिट है. But was there such a mess in BCCI that no?
This BCCI was one of the best, administered organization in Indian sport, not only in Indian sport, but throughout the world. Because I was the president of International Cricket Council, BCCI's reputation internationally was very high. BCCI, where we manage BCCI quite professionally, and by and large, where the infrastructure has been improved in last few years in BCCI, I don't see that type of situation anywhere in the world.
So, sir, as you said, मेरी आदत है मैं तो बोलता हूँ कि this is a judicial nationalization of BCCI. How long will it last?
What is meant by nationalization?
That government control through judiciary of BCCI. How long will it last?
No. Firstly, Olympic Association of World and International Cricket Council has one rule. These sporting organizations, respective countries' government has no role there.
Right.
And if there is an interference by any government in the administration and decision-making process of the sporting organization, that country should be debarred. That is a provision in Olympic Association. This is a provision in the ICC also. But just because our equation with many countries are good, and that's why they are keeping one. Otherwise, our members from other countries are not happy with what's happening here.
So, again, as an elder statesman, would you suggest a resolution because, or do you think this going on indefinitely?
No, it has to stop this. You see, sporting organizations should get total independence. Government has no role there. Ultimately, those who are, I can understand, if there is a substantial provision and representation for retired sportsmen, it's a good thing. No problem about that. We can support them. We can use their services. But my own experience, I tried my level best to associate many retired players like Sachin Tendulkar or many others. They just refused. They said it's not our job. To administer organization is one thing, and to play on the ground effectively is one thing. But still, I have no objection. If we associate retired players, that will be useful.
We have come this far. You have a friend. We talked about cricket. A friend who's been your friend for longer than cricket, whose madness is also, you know, Vijay Mallya. Could he have avoided getting into this mess?
If you first say about friend, his father was a friend of mine.
His father was a friend of yours.
Vijay.
But people say his father made money.
No, that his father has definitely made money.
But not Vijay.
But Vijay has made much more than him. Only question about Vijay, his father told me once, when Vijay just was supposed to join. So his father, Vittal, told me, Vittal put one winery unit in Baramati. That was the first unit in Maharashtra from winery. So Vittal was in Baramati and he brought Vijay. He told me, this young man has a vision. He is a visionary. He is a hardworking. He will earn much more than me. Only difference between me and him, if I will earn 100 rupees, I will try to keep at least 70 rupees, I will save it, and maximum 30 rupees I will send. This young man, if he will 100 rupees, he will spend 110, and 10 rupees will be liability. That was description of Vijay by his own father told to me. But I have seen Vijay, definitely visionary. He expanded his company. Myself and Praful Patel, in those days civil aviation minister, he was coming to us for giving permission he was eager to start that airline. And both of us were telling him, don't go to this one. Definitely you will lose. Your entire setup will affect. But no, he said nothing doing, I will show. And ultimately I also requested Praful, Baba Dedo, then he cleared. And he has set up one of the best airlines, no doubt about that.
That's right, yes.
But the economics were not correct. And that's why ultimately he lost. And that burden...
जिसको बोलते हैं आमदनी अठन्नी खर्चा रुपया.
ऐसे.
ऐसे.
And secondly, I think another wrong thing which he has done, I was telling him again and again, he was in parliament that time, I was telling him, you pay to your staff.
You pay to your staff?
His all class 3, class 4, class 2, all workers were without payment for 1 year, 2 years. I said, it's not correct, you pay. And unfortunately, he has not honored that, and that's why he invited a lot of trouble and unhappiness.
So what's his future now?
I don't know, it's a legal matter. So I really
Would
don't
you have
know.
advice for him?
No, in fact, I had a detailed meeting with him.
Pardon me?
I had a detailed meeting with him long back when he
Right.
was in Parliament.
Right.
And his liability was somewhat near to 8,000 crores. And his suggestion, he was ready to sit across the table with bankers for settlement. Only he was insisting, and he brought a big list and showed to me many companies where bank has settled with 50% or 60%. And his complaint was that approach is not taken about him. So I asked one of the bankers, see, why you are not resolving? You have resolved issue of X, Y, Z. Same principle, why you don't make applicable to Vijay Mallya? He said, it's question, there is a vast difference between others and Vijay Mallya. I said, what is that? He said, it's a question of perception. If any concession is given to Vijay Mallya, definitely there will be criticism on us. That's why we don't touch.
Perception because of his lifestyle?
Because of lifestyle. Beyond that, nothing. His calendar girls.
His calendars are still coming. Even this January, the calendar came on time. Calendars at parties. So since you've known him since he was a child, what will you advise him to do now, today?
Come back to India.
Come back to India.
Face the Indian court. If you are capable to resolve these financial problems, do resolve it. And don't keep away from your own nation.
So thank you very much. It's been a wonderful conversation. It's gone on for a long time and can go on longer, but we'll continue in Delhi. And thank you very much. This has been wonderfully politically loaded, and I say loaded not with double meaning, conversation off the cuff. But that is what you expect when you have a real Dada of Indian politics with you. So Dada, Sharad Pawar, thank you very much. And welcome back for next edition, when we'll try and bring another equally interesting guest for you. Thank you very much.